Hi guys, welcome to the unboxing and quick review of this TryAce travel converter and adapter power strip. It fits for US, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Europe, and yeah, it's the model P9. Here we have some additional information. I think it's temperature control. Can't even read that. Here on the back we have additional information. There's some caution and even more information. Hope you can read that. There's even website information about that. The thing is, it is pretty cheap for the power, or powerful for the price. It costs only about $45 and it has up to 2200 watts. The thing is, it doesn't go below about 25 watts. Why ever that is, I haven't found out why. Maybe this is a common thing. I will test that if it's possible to go below. The thing is, actually it is just a one-way thing. So sometimes you can buy this two-way, means step up and step down. So this is just step down. I mean, of course you can use that, I think, also in US, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't provide 240 volts. But if you go to, let's say, Europe and plug it into 240 volts, it will provide 110 volts. So you can use your hair dryer, and really powerful. I mean, yeah, think about 2200 watts. That's basically the maximum which you get out of any socket, even in Europe. So you can basically use hair dryer or probably machinery or whatsoever. They just say that everything is working just with a hard switch and not with an electronic switch. But it is a little bit hard to figure out what really works and what does not work. So I have to cut it and I open that, and let's see how this works. So for you to compare a little bit, I have here three devices. So that's the one which we are covering in this review. Here we just have a plug, which, I mean, that's a universal worldwide travel plug. So you can use almost every device from every country in every country, as long as they support the specific voltage. So it doesn't do anything regarding voltage, it just makes sure that the plugs will fit. So it has a lot of plugs on this side, and I mean, yeah, plugs on this side and outlets, or possibility as a outlet or socket on this side. So this has similar things, but it does step down the voltage in Europe from 220 to 110. And this device is much heavier, much bulkier, much more expensive, with same wattage. But this does everything. I mean, especially it does not only step down conversion, but it also makes step up conversion. So you have 240 volts in US, and you can plug it in Europe, and you can then step down from 240 to 110 volts. But this is about same price, and this has only 500 watts, while this has 2200 watts, but just one way. So that's a different thing. If you have step down, that's much easier than step up, of course. But on the other hand, I mean, you can take something like this for travel. I mean, that's a must. This is yeah, not a must, but you can do. I mean, at least the weight, it's really lightweight. This is something you wouldn't take for travel. This is about, yeah, hard to tell, about 10 pounds or so. This is really heavy, not only bulky. By the way, on the side we have this detail description, product number, and the scanning code. So here is what we get, except from the packaging. That's actually the device, and it's super lightweight. It has some cooling openings. Yeah, I think that's for cooling. Here we have this plug here, and yeah, let's go into that later on. Here we have normal cord, here US, here is standard adapter, and here we have all the things for different countries, so you don't have to take everything with you if you just go to a specific country. So this could then actually replace also this, or yeah, I mean, if you have this, it will you will have this and additionally the step down, and yeah, it comes with a cushioned nice bag. So that's it. Now let's figure out how this works. So here we have the small manual instructions, and I thought, yeah, it's definitely worth to show it to you. So in case something is not written in the Amazon listing, so you have now time, just go on the highest resolution 1080p and post the video, and so you have enough time to read everything. And here is the back. I hope it will focus nicely so you can see and read everything. So I now will also read everything and we'll go from there. So I've been reading almost everything, and it looks like it has really more warnings and exceptions than ways it would really work, especially here on this side. Especially the one which I don't get, this 1.2. Here we have it. Yeah, here non-electronic heating appliances with mechanical switch, whatever that means. Then there's some explanation about what kind of switch is a mechanical switch, and only these devices can be used with a mechanical switch, something which you really have to press, and not something which turns on automatically like a coffee maker. And then it explains the different sockets, the converter socket and the appliance socket. The converter socket, yeah, it converts the voltage, and it says for converter functions only for single voltage hair dryers with mechanical switches and specific brands. So I don't know why it shouldn't be possible to use dual voltage here. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, if it supports both voltages, so whatever voltage we have here, it should be able to deal with that. It's really strange, and a huge warning here that it says it is only for short time usage, only when in converter mode, only use this product for short period of time, approximately 10 minutes and not more, and then you have to remove it from the outlet. So really a lot of warnings, a lot of limitations, but still you can do quite some things, but you have to be really careful what you do with this. So definitely not something which you want to give to children without supervision. So this is now plugged in at 110 volts like US converter in US, and as you can see it's powered on. This is the LED light. So to test that I have to turn it around for this device, and I just plug it in. This is just the outlet or the adapter outlet. So we test that and we'll see. Okay, 120 volts, that's good. And so let's try if we can run something. Here I have a hair dryer. This is about 350 watts on the lowest settings, without heating or without much heating. As you can see, it really works nicely. So we are now trying to put this on this side, which is actually not intended because we are already on 110 volts. So it should, if it does anything, it would lower the voltage even to, I don't know, 50 or 60 volts. I mean, that's a new device, so everything is still warranty. Let's just try, see if it doesn't explode, but we can see, yeah, it doesn't do any good thing. So oh yeah, we can see that. Yeah, here we can definitely see it is around 50 volts, so exactly what I was expecting. It doesn't hurt the equipment because it's just very low, but you can't do anything. I mean, usually you don't have any device which will work with just 50 volts, so we don't do anything, but it looks like there's no harm if you like just by accident plug something in. The voltage is just too low and it won't do anything. Maybe like a really small engine, a really non-powerful thing would run really slowly or something like that. So now we are back on the 120 volts and you can see this device was not hurt. It's just it's still showing proper value, so no harm, no bad things. But I want to try if this thing, which is just like a adapter and not a converter, will work with 110 volts. So actually I think it doesn't do anything, it's just like an outlet. So I try this thing which is for 110 volts and it's only about consuming about 20 watts, which is actually below the limit, and it's charging. So it looks like the 20 watts limit is only for the converter. I have now plugged in a load tester into one of these 4 USB sockets and I'm on 1 amps. It should be possible to charge with 2.4 amps. So we increase a little bit the power. Let's go to 2.4. We are exactly at 2.4. Let's see what kind of voltage we get. We get 12 watts and we get still 5 volts. So that's a good sign. So if it's not capable to deliver 5 volts on 2.4 amps, so that would be not good. Some devices are not enough powerful to deliver that. Looks like this one is definitely able to deliver that, at least at 1 socket. So in total you cannot, I mean, yeah, you cannot do this with all the 4 sockets because it would be too much. 4 times 2.4 would be more than the total of, I think, 6 amps. So in total you have only 6 amps available, so on average 1.5 amps. One thing before I switch to 240 volts is this plug. This is the thing we are using, I mean, for US, but doesn't matter if you are using this also for Europe. This has no grounding, so if you see that, you would think it is grounded, but with these 2 plugs it's obviously not grounded. And so I don't know how safe this is. I mean, we have a lot of equipment with just these 2 plugs and no grounding, but it's just important to know that even when it looks like grounded, it is actually not, because there's missing this ground connector. So now let's pretend we are in Europe. You can see this thing here. We have output 220 volts. Yeah, it's not 240, it's 220. Doesn't matter. So here we have this output, even if we are in US now. We turn this on now and we use the Europe, I think that's German and Swiss plug. We use this adapter as we would use that. Of course, we could also use this travel adapter, but since we have that already in the package, we are using that. And you can see that we can plug this in here. Actually, it's a little bit too easy. Hold on a second. I think it is not a problem with this adapter. I think the problem is with this transformer. So the European outlet is a little bit cheaply made, but it has a really super weak hold. So I take this out and just pretend if we were using that. Doesn't matter, doesn't make any difference. We have still 240 volts, and I can show you that. So here you can see that 242 volts. Even when this device just saying 220 volts, it is delivering 242 volts. So we are not on the converter, we are just at the adapter thing, so we have actually the same power. It is just an outlet. Now we want to check on this converter, where we should have now finally this down step conversion, which is actually the main function of this device. And now let's see. Yeah, you can see 112, 120 something. Yeah, it's a little bit going up and down, now stable at 120 exactly. So now let's start with something which is built for 120, this hair dryer. If we are using the lowest setting, it should be around 340 watts, which matches this this transformer which we have here. Unfortunately, I don't have more power with this converter, downstep converter. We would have actually more power available, but not with the transformer which I'm using here. So I can just show you that. So let's turn it on and try. Doesn't work, so maybe I tried for a second without this measurement device, and it didn't work. So it made a crazy loud sound from the transformer. So I think the problem is not here. So the problem was here because probably this transformer is not built to power any kind of real motor or engine. So yeah, that's a problem. I can't really test that. But now let's test the second strongest device which I have. This is about 100 watts, a little bit less, but yeah, at least we can try. This is something which only works at 110 volts, not works at 240. If you would plug that at 240, it would probably just blow up and do nothing, just produce a little bit of smoke, overheat, and then shut down. So let's try this here. Goes to red and then it goes to green because it's already fully charged. Yeah, I cannot show you that fully, but at least it looks like it is working. So it would definitely not work on 240 volts. So we try now to test our second last device, which is this gardening tool battery. Based on my experience, it should charge with about 20 watts. Now let's try and hope that it will work. It's also creating a little bit strange sound. So let's see. Yeah, it's about stable. So let's see. Yeah, 30 watts, and it is charging. Yeah, so looks like it's stable charging with 28 watts. It is 60 hertz. It has 74 volts, which is really super low. Maybe that's the reason why it does. Yeah, because why they say you shouldn't operate something below 25 watts. So actually the voltage is really low. I mean, we have the red light, but it is not I mean, it is not perfect. I mean, you can see it starts with green and then it goes into red and it starts charging, but the voltage is really super low. This is actually not what we need. I mean, it is charging. Maybe it will work for your device, but you never know. Maybe it is not working properly. At least it looks like it is not overpowering, it is not too much volt. So what would damage a device like this if we would have more than 110 volts? If you are below, usually it shouldn't damage anything. So it's about 70 volts. It is just very slowly charging, but still it will be charging, or it will be it will do usually something. So this is what we can see. That's really a problem. Below 25 watts it's not working properly, so it looks like there's really a minimum of 25 watts. It needs to work properly. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to show you that with the hairdryer, but it looks like, I think it's a different thing. If you work with a hairdryer, probably it would need something like a different transformer. I mean, I'm not PhD in electronics. Maybe somebody could explain why it didn't work. But good so far, it's not bad. Here again we have this 240 volts, where we can see that this thing is actually still properly working. It's delivering the full power which would be required. So now let's do the last test, which is again the USB, and we start that. And yes, we can see, I mean, it's still everything normal. Do we have some heat here? Yeah, I can feel a little bit of heat even with not using too much power. I can already feel some heat down here. And we have 2.4 amps, we have 12 watts, and we have still 5 volts. So no change regarding the USB. So that's definitely a good thing. But overall, my final conclusion is, yeah, it is definitely a little bit limited. I mean, we have been able to see that it was working the down step from 240 to 110, but really limited. You can't do everything. There's so many restrictions here regarding electronic triggers or switches, and yeah, you probably shouldn't use a few things with heating, but yeah, actually hairdryer should be possible. But I mean, instead of buying this for $45, you could definitely buy a hairdryer which you can use worldwide, and you could even use it then at home again. I think definitely for this price you should be able to buy at least a hairdryer. And I mean, the most of the chargers for your phone and small stuff, I mean, definitely for everything with USB, I mean 90% of all the power adapters and charger for USB will be working worldwide. I haven't seen, I think, any just only 110 volts USB plugs or chargers. But maybe if you have something really unique which is not available with dual voltage, or maybe only super expensive, or you just really want to use that, it's really a need, maybe a medical device or whatever. I mean, there are so many things which could be needed really with 110 volts worldwide, and yeah, maybe then you are definitely good to go. I mean, the good thing really is that it is quite small and super lightweight, and you get also these really powerful USB sockets, and you get even these outlet. I mean, it's a power strip. I mean, it's a small one. It just gets 2 additional ones, which is definitely not a lot. But in total, of course, with the converter there are 3. Yeah, okay, then but they are a little bit close together. I wish they had a little bit more gap in between. So if you have something really large, it could definitely cover that, but maybe, yeah, if it's a standard plug, yeah, okay, that would definitely work side by side. But if it's a little bit larger, you need, I mean, you can take something like that. That's not really big, so you really have to know if you're using that. Just make sure that the thing which you want to take with you on world travel fits to this description and limitations. And then if everything is right, yeah, why not to buy that? I mean, again, also the limitation, it says only 10 limits on, at least on high power. It is not something which you can let plugged in all the time and use the 24/7 like this one. I mean, this thing is built. We had Xbox running like for months on this device. It didn't cause any problem at all. And yeah, this thing is definitely more powerful. This is just passive heat sink. It doesn't have any kind of fan, so you have to be careful so it doesn't create any kind of fire. So I think that's it for now. I hope I've been able to cover most of it. If you have any questions or comments, just write to the comment section below. I'm always happy to talk about these things. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.